Hi, all, and welcome to the first episode of A World of Bookish Adventures. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Amanda, and we're excited to have you join us on this new adventure.
For today's podcast, we plan on sharing two main areas with you guys. The first is we want to share a little bit about us, who we are, why we're here. But most important, we want to share with you what you will expect from A World of Bookish Adventures from the podcast and from moving on. And we are going to do this podcast a little bit differently, maybe than some other podcasts, but we're really excited to share that with you because this is going to be a podcast as well as a vlog. So you'll be able to listen to us on your favorite podcast platforms. As well as if you want, you can also listen to us and watch on our YouTube channel. Now, the YouTube channel, we will share with you the same audio that you're getting from your podcast. But on the YouTube channel, you'll be able to see pictures and video of all the places that we are talking about.
We're also really excited to be doing it this way because that's going to allow us to bring you along with our bookish adventures, and it's going to let you experience it right along with us.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. I can't wait. So, who are we? Why should you care? Well, as I said, I'm Amanda, and I've had a love for books and reading since childhood. I was always reading. My mom would bring me to the library every week, and I would check out a dozen books at a time. It was just something that's always made me just experience deep joy. Actually, I still have some of my favorite books from elementary and middle school. I just can't let them go. Even to this day, I enjoy most genres, but science fiction and fantasy are my favorites. In addition to reading, I enjoy exploring and going on new adventures. For example, in 2021, I did a solo day trip hiking up a waterfall, and it was beautiful. I was exhausted when I got to the top. It was cold, but when I got to the top, I just sat down and just listened to the water and pulled out my book and just started reading and just listened to the water and just enjoyed being outside. And that was everything I needed to make my own perfect day.
That sounds like an absolute perfect day. I love that. Love it, love it, love it.
It really was. It was perfect. So, and especially, living in Florida where we don't have waterfalls, it was just a new way to experience connecting with my books. Outside of books and going on adventures, I am a licensed clinical social worker, which means I do therapy, and I'm an adjunct professor for social work at the local university. I also volunteer for the Dragonwood Conservancy, which is a nonprofit that helps conserve endangered reptile species. So they have all types of crocodiles, endangered species of alligators, turtles, tortoises, snakes. They've had owls there at one point. Pretty much if it's endangered and it needs help, we help. I have no biological kids, but I do have a little sister and big brothers, big sisters that I absolutely adore. And her love is manga. So she's been teaching me about manga, which is a whole different adventure. And I also have furry and scaly children. So I have two cats, a tortoise, and a bearded dragon, and a fish, a betta fish. And I'm very active on Goodreads and Storygraph. If you haven't tried Storygraph, it's really cool. It breaks down all your books by like moods and user reviews, the number of pages, the ratings, and it's just cool to see all the ways that your books, your stats show up. So definitely check out Storygraph because I know that one's not known as well.
I'm so glad that you brought up Storygraph because I have Storygraph as well, and I always forget to use it. Like, I'm on Goodreads and the other things too, and I always forget to use Storygraph. So maybe we'll have to do an episode one time of talking about all these different platforms and stuff because I always forget that, and I'm sure other people do as well.
Oh, definitely. If you like Goodreads, you're going to love Storygraph. I wish more people were on it actually, because then it would be really cool to like look at all the different things that we have in common. But that's enough about me. Shannon, why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Well, hi everybody. My name is Shannon. I am a self-proclaimed book dragon. The more I can add to my hoard, the better. And kind of like you said, Amanda, I have some books myself from when I was young and when I was a child that were special and sentimental. I can't let them go. I'm a very active reader. I'm also an art reader and reviewer, and I absolutely love supporting indie authors by reading their new submissions, by doing early posting and reviews, reviews, as well as social media postings and supporting them in that way. In fact, a little teaser for the end of our podcast, we're going to actually talk a little bit more about some indie authors. And so be sure to stay tuned for that. I love traveling. I'm a huge traveler. I love solo traveling. I love traveling with my friends. And interesting, I have found that over the last couple years, my travel adventures and my book passions have really started to overlap. And I've been doing a lot what I like to call bookish travel and going to places either out of my books or that have book themes or different things like that. And this past summer, I had the privilege of spending a month in Europe, and I just had so many incredible experiences that I can't wait to share with all of you. I like reading most types of books, but I will say fantasy romance, dark romance, and classics tend to be the ones that I read the most. And a little personal about me, I live in Tennessee, so have lots of waterfalls. Amanda, as you know, in Tennessee, we have a lot of waterfalls here. I'm a mom of 4 amazing young adults. I have a black lab named Athena. I also have a bachelor's degree in psychology and a master's degree in industrial organizational psychology. And I am active on a variety of sites such as Book Talk on TikTok, Instagram, Goodreads, and several other Facebook groups. And we'll make sure that we share with you guys our social media handles as well for the podcast, as well as personally, if you guys want to follow us on there.
Definitely. I always like to meet other nerds because they give best recommendations for books.
I have to tell you, and Amanda isn't really on the book talk scene on TikTok. That's kind of not where she gravitates to. But if any of our listeners right now are on the book talk on TikTok, it's just wonderful. I mean, it's a great community. I have connected with so many authors and learned so many amazing books. Same as Instagram as well. Those are two really good places to learn and about all new authors. And I'll just have to share with you what I find out, Amanda.
So, why don't you help us understand what are some of the goals of our podcast?
Amanda and I have known each other for quite a while. And through just our normal, talking that we do, we have discovered over the years, we both have a love for books, we both have a love for travel, and we both have a love for bookish travel experiences. Finding amazing bookstores and libraries and events and locations that are straight out of our favorite book are passions that we have. And in talking, we realized that we would love to share our passions with other like-minded book lovers. And the more we kept talking and sharing, we realized that we could not be the only ones that love this overlap. And so we thought, with all our extra free time that we sort of don't have, but we thought it would be so much fun to set up a platform where we could talk and share all things bookish with you. So that is why we are here.
And I have to say, there is always time for books and there's always time for reading. You might have to give up sleeping, but there's always time for books and reading. So
sleep. Who needs sleep? We don't need sleep.
It's fine. Time for that.
Exactly.
Supporting indie authors, so people who maybe don't have as much, haven't published as much yet or aren't as well known. There's tons of talent out there, and they just don't get discovered by everybody, and they should, because it's just, you just hear voices that maybe you don't have the opportunity to hear otherwise. So we love supporting indie authors, and we're going to dedicate one podcast each month to sharing and supporting indie authors and book reviewers. That way we get their name out there, you get to know them a little bit. I just found at a recent MegaCon a fantasy author that I love, and I was so glad I stopped by her table. Have read 3 of her books so far, and I love them. We will be bringing them on the show and share with all of you their books, their reviews, and what their passions are, and how we can support indie authors in such a competitive environment.
I absolutely love it. And with me being an ARC reader, and for any of our listeners who don't know what an ARC reader is, it's an advanced reader copy. And so basically what that means is you connect with authors. Generally, you have to fill out some type of an application form where it asks you different questions. And then in return, the author sends you a book. Now, most of the time, it's either an ebook, or on your Kindle or something like that. Occasionally you'll get a paperback copy, but most of the time it's an ebook. And in return for getting the book, and the book is given to you before it is released to the general public. And in return for that, you commit to reading the book and being a reviewer. Because when an indie author doesn't have, as Amanda said, doesn't have a big publishing house behind them, or all the money that a publishing house will put into, if you think of like a real popular author whose name is really well known, they don't have that. So that's what we become. And so ARC readers are those first reviews that maybe you see on Amazon or Goodreads, or maybe on some of the other social media sites. And we in turn help promote them and share them with our communities. So when they do have their book launch and their book release, there's already buzz out there. And so, as Amanda shared, we are really, really excited about supporting them. And I will tell you, Amanda, probably the last 3 ARC reads I've done, I have been so swept up in those worlds. I've actually went out and bought the physical copies when those books were released. So it's such a great way to support new authors as well as expand your dragon hoard. So, but we are so excited to share that for September, our first author that we will be showcasing is Hannah James. I was privileged to be an ARC reader for her book titled Air Undeniable, which, if you love vampires with Greek mythology, with dark romance, chef kiss. It's such a good book. And it is actually released now. So if you want to go check it out, on our Instagram page and our TikTok page, I will put her information, as well as on our YouTube page. I'll put that as well. So you could get to know her a little bit before we bring her on. And I'm so excited. So she'll be joining us at the end of the month, and we will get to know her a little better, as well as her journey as an indie author.
I'm really excited because I actually haven't read Air Undeniable. I know you raved about it, but it's trying to get ready for the new semester and everything, getting ready to teach. Haven't really had as much time to read as I normally do. So I'm really excited to talk with her and, just find out more about her before I read her book.
Yeah, she's great. She's great. I just can't wait for you to get to know her, for our listeners to get to know her. And the book that she just released is actually going to be a series, and it ends on a cliffhanger, which gets me every time. So I'm anxiously waiting for book 2 to come out.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Got to throw that trigger warning out there.
Right.
Yeah. Well, each week, either Shannon or myself will be sharing our adventures with you. And wherever we go, we're going to share the history of the place, what were our experiences there, and what we got out of this journey. So what did we enjoy about it? What did we learn? How many stars maybe to recommend to you? But we're going to share a little bit about that with you each week. So sometimes our adventures are going to overlap. There's some places that Shannon and I have both been, and we want to share our perspectives for visiting those places. And other times we will decide to go somewhere together. So these are going to be things that we're going to be doing from week to week, either sharing together or sharing individually our awesome experiences. Because as you may have noticed as we're talking, Shannon lives in Tennessee. I live in Florida. It's kind of hard for us to travel together sometimes, but we make it work. And additionally, as we shared earlier, we have our YouTube channel, and you will get to see pictures and videos that we take to go along with what we're sharing.
Yes, absolutely. And for those of you that may be listening to us on YouTube now, you will have seen pictures of Amanda and pictures of me and pictures of some of our experiences and stuff. So you guys are getting a little taste of what to expect on the YouTube channel moving forward.
Absolutely. So only the best pictures, though. Got to make sides in there.
Filters are our friend.
But to start off, we're going to be on Podbean, Spotify, and Apple Podcast, as well as YouTube, of course. And we will be on Instagram and TikTok. So if you use any of those platforms already, you are welcome to follow us there for behind the scenes content. Spoiler alert, I'm not on TikTok, but the rest of those things. So, you can connect with me there. But Shannon's going to manage our TikTok for us. And we are going to share our link tree that has all of the links on how you can find us on each social media platform, as well as, if you would like, how you can be part of the podcast. Are you an indie author? Do you have a really cool adventure you want to share? Let us know. We would be happy to chat with you and get to know you a little bit.
I am so I am excited about everything we're doing here. I'm excited to share the bookish adventures. I'm excited to share our unique experiences with you guys, but I'm really, really excited about this part because we want to hear from you. As Amanda said, are you an indie author? Are you a book reviewer, or do you have a vlog or a blog or something along those lines that you want us to be there to help promote you? That's one of the reasons why we're here, because it's important for us to support our book community. So we definitely want to hear from you. But we also want to hear from those listeners. What bookish travel experiences and adventures have you had? We would love to hear your recommendations on places that maybe we should visit, as well as we would love to hear your own stories. We plan to do mini episodes throughout our podcast. As of right now, we will be posting once a week on Tuesdays. So every Tuesday, a new podcast will drop. But we also will be doing some mini episodes along with that where we can share your stories and places that you've gone and adventures that you've had. So you guys can either click the form that will be in our link tree and email us through that form, or you can email us directly at AWOBA podcast@gmail.com. And what we'll do, and as you guys are sharing stories, we'll pick some that Amanda loves, some that I love, some that we both love, and we will share your stories on future mini podcasts. And I'm really, really excited to hear what you guys recommend us do.
I am always up for a new adventure, so I'm dying to hear about it. So please make sure you check out that form. Shannon, what is our podcast next week about?
So, okay, next week's podcast is going to be featuring my first bookish adventures that I had this summer in Switzerland. I'll be sharing the first part of my Switzerland trip, and I went to the Abbey Library in St. Gallen, and it was amazing and incredible, and the history and what it looked, it was amazing. So I cannot wait to share with you that story. And I got to throw out another quick tease, Amanda, for any of my ACOTAR fans that are out there that are listening to us. Keep an eye out for my Switzerland Part 2 trip, for my journey to Valaris. And I'm just really excited to share that with you. So little quick tease for our viewers out there.
That sounds awesome. I have no idea what you're talking about, but it sounds like it would be really fun.
I know.
So
I know we have to get you to read A Court of Thorns and Roses. And that, by our listeners, that is what I'm working with her now, because she loves fantasy books and she's busy. So I'm only giving Amanda a little bit of grief here, but definitely I'm advocating for her to start reading that series when she has some time.
Yeah, it's so on my list. I don't even know, my list is about 500 books deep right now, but okay, so that's what you meant. All right, well now I know.
Yeah, I had to use the abbreviation because that's what it's known in the book community as ACOTAR. And I promise you this, Amanda, I am putting my hand up. If you could see me now, my hand is up.
Okay.
When you read the book and you're like, Shannon, we need to go to Valaris, we will go to Valaris, because not only will you get to see Valaris, Switzerland has probably some of the best hiking and lakes and outside scenery. So it's going to hit all of your check boxes.
That it really does sound amazing. You know, the closest I've gotten to Switzerland is like Swiss Miss, and it's just not the
same. No, not the same at all. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Well, thank you all for being a part of our very first podcast. We're looking forward to connecting with you every week, and we would love to have you join us on our social media pages as well. Like the page, subscribe to us on YouTube, any of your podcast platforms. We'd love to have you join us. Come along with us, see where we're going, give us some ideas. We're excited about it. So this is Amanda saying read more books.
and then go out and explore. Bye, everybody.